again, learners. Welcome back to another Global English Competitiveness video. Today we're diving into the second part of Unit 4, My Degree Program, My Choice, My Future. Get ready with your pen and paper as we embark on a dynamic journey through the halls of learning and discovery.
To recap, here are our can-do objectives. First, display understanding of how school facilities affect learning. Second, share the factors that affect the decision-making process in choosing a school and degree program. Third, use a participial phrase in describing personal experiences in joining extracurricular activities. And fourth, list down things that make the college experience more productive and successful. In the previous lesson, we have already covered our first objective, which is to display understanding of how school facilities affect learning. So now, let's move on to our second lesson, 4B, My Degree Program, My Choice, My Future. Here are the sub-lessons that will help us achieve our objective, which is to share the factors affecting the decision-making process in choosing a school and degree program. Listening, grammar, reading, grammar, and speaking. To officially start our lesson, let us listen to this audio recording of the valedictory speech entitled Embracing the Power of Choice, Forging Paths of Excellence. This was delivered by Juan de la Cruz during the commencement exercise. Your task is to take note of the different reasons as to what made him choose his course as well as his alma mater.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished professors, fellow alumni, honored guests, today marks a significant milestone in our lives as we gather here to celebrate our graduation. Here we are, a diverse bunch of people whose unique decisions have molded our time in school and our lives thereafter. I'd want to take a moment to think about the significance of free will and how it has changed my life. When I first stepped foot on this campus, I was filled with excitement, anticipation, and a touch of uncertainty. Like many of you, I was faced with the daunting task of choosing a course that would define my academic and professional pursuits. It felt like standing at a crossroads with countless roads stretching out before me, each promising its own adventure. But this is a little secret. The strength is not in the decision, but in the bravery to accept it. When we make a decision, we set off on a path toward development, resilience, and self-awareness. I chose a course that ignited my passion for science. It wasn't an easy choice, as it required dedication, perseverance, and countless hours of study. There were moments when doubt crept in, when the challenges seemed insurmountable. But it was during those moments of struggle that I found my true strength. Along this journey, I've realized that the course I chose wasn't just about acquiring knowledge, but about developing skills that extend far beyond the classroom. I've learned how to think critically, solve complex problems, and work collaboratively with diverse teams. I've discovered that the process of learning goes hand in hand with personal growth. But here's the beauty of it all. Our choices don't define us, but they shape us. The path we choose may not always be smooth, but it is through overcoming obstacles that we forge our character and build resilience. To my fellow graduates, I urge you to embrace the power of choice in your lives. Do not be afraid to follow your passions, to take risks, and to pursue the path that excites you. Remember that your journey is unique, and comparison will only hinder your growth. Embrace your individuality and trust in your ability to create your own success. As we stand here today, on the threshold of a new chapter in our lives, let us not forget the lessons we've learned. Let us honor the choices we've made, knowing that they have brought us to this moment of celebration and accomplishment. To the faculty and mentors who have guided us along this transformative journey, I extend my deepest gratitude. Your dedication, knowledge, and unwavering support have made a lasting impact on our lives. Finally, to my fellow graduates, I congratulate each and every one of you for the choices you've made and the achievements you accomplished. As we go out into the world, let's keep making decisions that motivate us, that stretch the limits of what we believed was possible, and that give us the chance to have a positive effect on the lives of others. Thank you, and congratulations. Class of 2022, our future is waiting, and the choices we make today will shape the world tomorrow. Let's go out there and make it extraordinary.
So, how is it? Making career and educational choices is exhilarating and challenging, as it shapes your lifelong journey and future success. Now, time to test your understanding based on the audio recording. Let us answer the following questions. The first one is already done for you. Now here are the answers. For our grammar focus, we will talk about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs consist of 2 or 3 parts. Usually, the particle gives the verb a different meaning. Here are the most commonly used particles. Let's focus on the following sentences. First, it is important to weigh up the relevance and practicality of each program in relation to my career goals. Which part in the sentence can be considered as a phrasal verb? That's right, weigh up. Weigh is the verb, up is the particle. If you will combine them, it will result to weigh up, which means to think carefully and assess. Now, how about this sentence? After visiting several campuses, my sister finally settled in a college that stood out to her. Right again. Stood out is the phrasal verb. Stood is the verb, while out is the particle. If you combine them, stood out means impressive. There are also some verbs that if you pair it with all the particles, will change and denote other meanings. Take, for example, the verb give below. If you pair give with different articles, it will mean different things. There are also some phrasal verbs or verbs that can be paired with the same particles. However, they will denote different meanings. Please observe these examples. Do you know that some phrasal verbs can be separated and others can't be separated? You can separate the verb and the particle when the object consists of just a few words, whether it's a noun object or a pronoun object. First, with a noun object. Here's an example. He picked the book up from the shelf and flipped through it to see if it caught his interest. In this sentence, it uses the separable phrasal verb picked up with the noun object, the book. The separable phrasal verb picked up means to lift or take something from a surface, and in this context, it conveys the idea that he left the book on the shelves. For the pronoun object, here's an example. I'll drop you off at the airport on my way to work tomorrow morning. The phrasal verb for this one is drop you off or drop off. When using the pronoun objects such as you, one must separate the verb and the particle. The pronoun comes between them. Phrasal verbs can be separated when they're separable, as discussed earlier. However, there are certain situations when you should not separate phrasal verbs. First is that some phrasal verbs are inherently inseparable, meaning the verb and the particle always stay together. Jumping to separate them can result to incorrect or unnatural sentences. Take, for example, the phrasal verb given. This is inseparable. So, you should say, she refused to give in, not she refused to give it in. Another instance is when phrasal verbs with pronouns. When you use the pronoun as the object of the phrasal verb, it must come between the verb and the particle. Attempting to separate them with a pronoun is grammatically incorrect. For example, he picked up the book. Correct, right? However, he picked the book up is the correct grammar for that. Lastly, as per fixed phrasal verbs, some phrasal verbs have fixed phrasal verb orders. You should not change the order of the verb and the particle. For example, the fixed phrasal verb caught on or catch on means to understand or become popular. You should say the concept finally caught on, not the concept finally on caught. And now, to check your level of mastery, let's try answering the following sentences on a piece of paper, or you can mark your answer on your module. Try to locate the phrasal verbs in these sentences. The first one is already done for you. Now here are the answers. So, how did you do in that activity? I'm sure you did well on that one. Now, time for our reading activity. Let us read together the essay, Choosing the Right Degree, Balancing Passions, Finances, and Future. You can also get a copy of this text in your module.
Choosing a degree is a life-changing decision that requires careful consideration. As you embark on planning out your career, you will encounter two crucial choices: selecting the right course and finding a suitable institution. Moreover, you'll find yourself caught in a constant battle between your hobbies and passions, all while taking into account your family's financial circumstances. It is essential to manage and weigh these choices effectively, as they will significantly impact your college life and ultimately shape your future profession. It sounds intimidating and exciting, right? As David Coyle of Methodius, which specializes in IT recruitment, said, "Heart, all the way, and I'm not being soppy. Study what you love. If you don't, you'll not only be unhappy in the wrong career, you'll be bad at whatever you do and end up having a poor career." There is no doubt in my mind that you cannot fit a round peg into a square hole and be comfortable. Begin by listing down your objectives and how you intend to attain them, and then focus on your specific abilities and hobbies. From there, you may conduct more research on the courses you are considering and get advice from people you rely on before making a decision. Lastly, you can look into the list of opportunities available after completing the course. Remember, at the end of the day, everything boils down to the choices you make.
This time, let us check your understanding based on the essay you have read. Write your answers on a piece of paper or mark your answers in your module. The first one is already done for you. Now here are the answers. All right, I have here the list of factors that were mentioned in the text on what are the things you considered in choosing the right degree program and school. What were your priorities? You put number 1 to 5 on each box, 1 being the top priority and 5 being the least among the factors that you considered in choosing your degree program and school. For our grammar activity, let's do a scavenger hunt. You are to identify the different phrasal verbs used in the essay you read earlier. You can list as many as you can. An example is provided for you. Happy hunting! Time's up! So, how many phrasal verbs did you find? Can you give the meaning of each phrasal verb? That's great! Here are the other phrasal verbs in this text. For our speaking activity, You can do it together with your classmates, friends, or any of your family members. Assign a role for each member of the group and read the different responses given by students during an interview when asked what made them choose their degree program. Now read each of the students' responses again and identify who among the students shared the following responses. The first one is already done for you. Now here are the answers. We are almost at the end of this lesson. How was it so far? I am happy that you are enjoying the process. Now, let us have a think, pair, and share activity. Based on the reading activity that we had, what other factors did you consider in choosing your course and school? You have a minute to think. Then, share it with your partner, friend, or your siblings. Make sure to elaborate your responses using phrasal verbs. Also, take note of the phrasal verbs used by your partner. Lastly, record your interaction so you can share it in your class. To check your speaking skills, you can upload your recording to the Small Talk to Me website. Now to rate your speaking ability, you can visit the website smalltalktome.com. It is an AI-driven speaking assistant designed to enhance your English speaking skills on the move. It facilitates practice and communication skills improvement by recording and suggesting your speech to AI analysis, eliminating the need for a teacher or speaking partner. Just upload your recording and make sure it is a minimum of 1 minute. Also, you can avail the 15-minute uploads for free. Watch the video to guide you in how to upload your audio recordings. For a deeper dive into this topic, please click the link provided for comprehensive details and insights. And with that, we have covered our second can-do objective, which is to share the factors that affect the decision-making process in choosing a school and degree program. We listened to a valedictory speech, learned about phrasal verbs, read an essay about choosing the right degree, put your knowledge on phrasal verbs to a test, and enhanced your speaking skills with your peers.
Together, we've delved into the valuable insights that will serve us well in our future endeavors. Let's continue to embrace curiosity and growth. That concludes Unit 4B. See you in the next session. Stay inspired and keep exploring.